So in this program, we want to do a body mass index formula. This is a nice, simple formula, and we'll pretend we're doing this for a doctor's office. So we're going to get the patient's height in inches, the patient's weight in pounds, and then we're going to calculate the body mass index. So let's look at the body mass index formula that we'll be using. So it's right here. The body mass index is equal to the weight divided by the height squared, all times 703. So, I mean, really the only, I think, obstacle here is that in coding, you're confined to one line. It's not like a math class where you have like a very distinct numerator and denominator, like vertically at least. I mean, so we just have to make sure we get that formula all on one line of code, which won't be a big deal. Also, we have not yet talked about exponentiation, and that's really easy to do in Python. So let me demo the program. So let's say I've got a patient here who is 5 feet tall. That's 60 inches. And this patient weighs 100 pounds, and we're telling the patient at 60 inches and 100 pounds, your BMI is 19.5. So let's look at the code here. You see we had user input here. So first I asked for the patient's height, okay, and I'm putting that height, the 60 inches in that case, in a variable called height. Now, recall, in the last program, we used the input statement with a prompt, enter patient's height in inches, but so when I entered 60, okay, how is that coming into the program, really? It's coming in like this, 60. It's coming in as a string, and as I said before, you cannot do math with a string. So we need to convert that. We need to cast that. Specifically, in this case, I'm going to cast a float. I probably could get away with casting it to an int, but typically with like scientific type programs, like where precision matters, then I typically will use floats. You know, when we're using a formula like this, I would use a float instead of an int. You don't want to lose precision here. So we're going to convert to float. Recall that a float will accommodate a decimal, whereas an integer does not. An integer does not. Like, for example, in the last program, it was the box office for the Moraine Valley Theater. It's like how many tickets, how many people are buying tickets. So I used an integer there because people are whole numbers. Tickets are whole numbers. We're not going to tear a ticket in half and, you know, sell a fraction of it. But this is different, okay? So we'll use floats here. And same thing for the weight. Enter the weight in pounds. I'm going to cast that to a float as well. And now we're home free. Again, the formula is this. It's the weight divided by height squared times 703. So I'm going to take care of again, we have to get this all on one line. I'm going to take care of the numerator first. We'll do weight times 703, and then we'll divide that by the height squared. So let me do it. Okay, so as I said, so we're going to put the result in a variable called BMI, all right? Weight times 703, and we're going to divide that by height squared. I really don't need these parentheses here, but I just put them there visually. This is how you do exponentiation in Python, so that's really nice and easy. Just a double asterisk is going to square that, okay? And that's it. The rest is just an F string here, and I'm just plopping those values into the placeholders, and that's the result that I get. Notice I put one decimal on the final output, and I did that here using the trick that I showed you.